now my pleasure to introduce Caldwell Jackson, Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Agriculture, who will be addressing the Grange this morning. Give you the mic.
Thank you very much for having me. Walter is usually the one that goes around and does all the speaking for the department, but I was blessed to be here today. I just let you know that I don't know if anybody here really knows what a deputy commissioner does, but when Walt's not in the office, I usually run the office for him. I usually do all the hiring of any new personnel. I go over the personnel records and do the jobs of taking care of that. My biggest accomplishments is to work with the legislature. Any bills that are coming in or anything else, I go over them. I sit down with the department heads and we move it on for legislation which goes into the committee. And other than that, I usually do a lot with the budgets. And that's the duties of the Deputy Commissioner. I'd like to give you a little history of myself. I come from the town of Oxford, and I have been born and raised on a farm. I was belonged to the family since 1779. I still do crop farming. In the years past, I was into beef and sheep, and then I got the crazy notion to go into red deer and elk. And I did about 6 years of that, and I found that they like to get out all the time. So then I went back to the crop farming, and I have three little, well, not little anymore, but three daughters, and they always work right along with me. We started a vegetable stand on Route 26 in Oxford, and my oldest daughter runs that for me. And it's the greatest thing about family, everybody helps out. And I'm very appreciative of what she does for me. Well, I'd like to say that I don't know if anybody here knows how many divisions there are in the Department of Agriculture, but I figured I'd let you know what they are and who runs those divisions for us. We have harness racing, which is controlled by Henry Jackson, which he does happen to be my brother. And then we have the Board of Pesticides, which is Henry Jennings runs that for us. Quality Assurance and Regulations, which is handled by Hal Prince. I don't know if anybody has had a chance to work with Hal. He does all the licensing in the division for stores and vegetable stands and meat plants. Any type of licensing is done in the state of Maine. And then we have Animal Welfare, which is run by Leon Rose, and he is hired and he takes care of that division. We have the Maine Milk Commission, which is taking, Tim Drake runs that for us. And Animal Plant and Health is taken care of with Dave Labway. And then we have licensing, which I just told you about. I figured I'd put some stats together to tell you what the major crops in production are in Maine, which is $614 million. The potato industry, they do 22.8% of the 614 million. Wild blueberries does 8.2, oats does 0.3, hay is 1.2, sweet corn is 0.8, and all other vegetables is 3.4. Apples is 2.2, maple syrup, which is just kind of surprised me, is 1.7, and greenhouse and nurseries is 9.2, milk 17.7, eggs 9.4, and aquaculture 10.6. Every time when we go speak, this is what Walt told me to do, is we try to do what the governor's initiatives are. And there's the big 3 E's: energy, education, and economy. Energy, I don't know if you've noticed in the past, the governor has worked this last spring to get through legislation to be able to save 320 jobs in Baileyville at the Woodland plant, Maine. And how he did this, he negotiated and worked with DEP and worked with the company to be able to put a gas line, an LNG gas line in. And the payback on that in the first year is cost $15 million. In the first year, payback's going to be $20 million. So this is one of the things that he's been working real hard on energy. On education, I don't know if you've heard about Goodwill Hinckley. It's on Route 2 on the way up. He is working to get that and getting the education of farming back in with practice and start a 2-year program with KBC. This is the University of Maine did away with the program, and he is trying to reinstitute. He's a big promoter of agriculture in the state of Maine. And on the economy, you can see what he's been trying to do. He worked in Millinocket, saving those jobs, and he's doing the same thing. He wants LNG to be the primary source of fuel, and it's a big savings for the state. Other than that, I told you it's going to be short and sweet, and I appreciate you having me, and I'll answer any questions if they're asked. Thank you.
No questions?